We are sending with a request letter that please participate in this, and this information will be made available.
As well as the
Thank you. First of all, thanks to the organizers of this roundtable. It's always a pleasure to meet other OL practitioners. And also for the tone set by Professor Ravindra Kumarji and my colleague Professor Uma. I think she has provided an overview of both Swayam and Swayam Prabha. They are interdependent. So one, the document which she is going to circulate to all the state open universities. There are two modes. One, the video material which is generated for MOOCs can be repurposed to run on DTH channels. So that is one mode of, and that will be funded. So I am looking at it from state open universities. If they are going to deploy resources, manpower, time, effort, where will the money come from? Or is it just one more of the national initiative which asks for your commitment but doesn't compensate you in any way? So the basic, I think the content generation needs to take place in Swayam, and that needs to be repurposed for delivery through DTH channels. So DTH channels have been more delivery modes rather than classic television channels where programming is customized to the delivery. Here it will be for a MOOCs platform which will be in terms of technical quality standards repurposed for compatibility for the DTH. And Professor Ravindra Kumarji wanted me to give you a conceptual matrix so that you understand from the production to the learner end what is the process chart. So basically 32, initially it started with 1,000. I mean, I'm going back to history because I was part of the Apex committee of MHRD, which was very ambitious in launching 1,000 television channels. Then they scaled it down to 50, and Professor Raghavan, who was the scientific secretary in the Prime Minister's office, scientific advisor's office, was the chairman, and this committee consisted of representatives from IIT, IGNOU, ministry and other places. So the objective there was to provide space in the DTH channels for all the educational institutions so that they can reach out to their individual respective target groups. And those channels were originally to be launched through Doordarshan. So MHRD had signed an MOU with Prasar Bharati, and for whatever reasons they wanted to fast track it because it was taking more time than anticipated. They have found uplinking licensing partner in BISEC, Bhaskaracharya Institute of Space Applications and Geosciences, and they are going to provide the uplink from Gandhinagar. So all these 32 channels will be linked from the respective teaching ends to Gandhinagar through the National Knowledge Network. So NKN is already in place. So the NKN will be the lifeline through which the transfer of video content will take place. And the scheduling has to be well in advance. Initially, the BISEC expects 1 month schedule to be ready. And your program should be recorded 15 days before its telecast date, as per the Swayam Prabha document. And there won't be any special funds given to the programs which you are repurposing from Swayam to Swayam Prabha. But however, if you produce some programs which are exclusive for the DTH channels, there is scope for some funding. This is what is mentioned in the document. So, as a State Open University Vice Chancellor, if I were to given the option whether to join in or not, first thing I will see how does it benefit in reaching my potential target groups. Or is it one more of government technology initiatives which have come and gone. I think some of the state open universities don't have access to public waves, whether it is radio stations or Doordarshan. IGNOU has been very fortunate. Besides having access to Doordarshan AR, we set up our own radio stations which were of commercial radio station transmitting power 10 kilowatts, and also the TV channels which at the moment are shut but which are likely to come back in a few months' time. We are taking the help of MHRD to revive them and get them back. But there are many universities which don't have access to public channels, and for them it would be an interesting proposition. Now, in terms of connectivity, they have to identify their video studios which exist. Some of Nashik has its own studio. I think Uttarakhand Open University VC also had written to MHRD that he is willing to take up the challenging task of getting the teaching end ready. So there will be other universities. Brau, I had known representing B.R. Ambedkar Open University, they have also a fairly good video studio. Tamil Nadu Open University, the VC was saying that their video studio is also ready. So basically, you even Guwahati has. So you will have to have one of the studios as the teaching end, and every day you have to generate 4 hours of live content. This live content will be transported to Gandhinagar through National Knowledge Network. It will be repeated 5 times. So they will have servers there which will record it, and it will repeat it. So 4 hours into 6 times is the 24 hours. So that is what they are kick-starting with. And initially, they want at least 120 hours of content, which is enough for 1 month, to be given in physical media to bisect. So they may, when the Prime Minister inaugurates these channels, it's not necessary that all the teaching ends should be switched on throughout the country and they'll launch. It is possible that this material will be made available in Gandhinagar, and the switch on will happen there, so that it gives you some time to generate the content. So as far as IGNOU is concerned, given our experience over the years, the Gyan Darshan has started in 2000, and it has been a public TV channel. It ran for 13 years. I fully endorse the views of my Vice Chancellor when he said that open universities have not really been understood by the policy makers or mainstream administration for the kind of innovations they have brought in teaching learning, the way they have used multiple media technologies to enrich the learner's experience. And I think the broadcasting also played a significant role. IGNOU was one of the first pioneers to use interactive radio counseling and also these television channels. So in terms of their resources, public resources, so if there is any hand-holding, any help which you require from IGNOU, we are more than willing. So we would like to know which are the state open universities which are willing to timeshare this 4 hours live. Maybe initially one of you could take the lead, maybe YCMOU, and give us the 120 hours of content. And after that, because this is honoring a commitment given in 2013, when we said that one channel IGNOU should earmark for the benefit of state open universities. And Ravindra Kumarji, in that perspective, he has earmarked one of the 4 channels allocated to us for state open universities. So if there is any technical support you require or guidance of any kind in terms of programming, in terms of fixed point chart, in terms of packaging, we will be more than happy to.
I thanks all the speakers on the dais, Professor Ravindra Kumarji, Vice Chancellor, IGNOU, Professor Uma ma'am, and Professor Ravi Kanji. I thanks from my bottom of hearts. Now, this session is open for the discussion, and for this session, I request Professor Ravindra Kumarji to initiate and coordinate the discussion.
I want to see certain information and clarity on some points. I think this is a fantastic exercise for the whole nation. You are creating resources, to Swayam and Swayamprabha, and making it available to all. And as rather every TV channel puts their other product on YouTube, if you keep it there, then it will be available for everybody on internet. So that is one possible thing. What is not clear to me is where the learning process takes place, where the certification takes place, and how this has been controlled or decontrolled. I'm not in favor of controlling everything, but let learning process happen anywhere, anytime. Let person with all the other records of learning come to some sort of a certifying body. This is my learning. Evaluate me anytime, your procedure, but evaluate me on such type of rather constructive work or creative work that I have done it. You evaluate me. You evaluate, give a certification. If that is the process which is imagined here, I'm really complimenting the government. We are moving towards deinstitutionalization.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Deinstitutionalization. That learning is everywhere, anywhere, you can learn from anywhere. Only thing that we are learning standards, like Eklavya, you put it. These are the criteria. And go and give the examination, that's all. So this is a very good program of going ahead with the deinstitutionalization of the total education system in India and making it common and accessible to all. Am I right?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I think
sir.
absolutely. So this learning is going to happen in the Swayamprabha. So individual faculty will be there being termed as PI who will be running the course for a 3 months duration, whatever it is, a 4-credit course goes. Now the faculty wherever is placed. So if I am a PI, I am placed in IGNOU, so that I will run that course from IGNOU, and the credit earned from that course will be actually provided. Now in this actually the institutions, academic councils and other bodies, statutory bodies come into functioning. So in fact that's what I was mentioning, tomorrow's meeting is going to be crucial because there's going to be a decision, because there's going to be UGC representative where decision, this policy of credit recognition, credit transfer and all those are going to be worked out. And I totally agree with that deinstitutionalization. Here it is the teacher who is becoming very important. So locating the teachers. Now what happened also, we realized too, around a month back we had a workshop for EPG Pathshala and the MOOCs that are going to be offered by UGC we had in Flipnet. The question came up, like there are many faculty who are already retired. They develop the e-content for the Swayam. Now what happens to those courses? Because they are not part of any institution. I think there is another, this is perhaps where the open universities can do the hand holding and get the courses also placed in the open universities. That also is happening. So some kind of a clarity I am expecting by tomorrow we will get when these decisions are taken, how to run, who will be running, and how the approval of statutory bodies in particular institutions will be taking place, recognition of the credits earned from different organization, maybe someone doing from IGNOU has to be recognized by Delhi University, or so that this whole process, seamless process of credit transfer happens. So that is how things.
One more point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's taking a little longer time. There is a problem, basic problem. Problem is, what is the learning methodology? Learning methodology is a pedagogy. Now what pedagogy I am using? Is it behavioristic? Is it cognitivistic? memorization, or is it constructivist, in which I create something, solve something, develop something? Now, which is the pedagogy which we are insisting? That is one major aspect. Otherwise, people will just memorize the thing, come and give examination and content, and your examination and certification might concentrate on that. That will defeat the whole purpose of open learning processes. I mean, that is one point I would say. And in what way you are going to insist on pedagogies, constructive pedagogy, self-development pedagogy, social development pedagogies, and so on and so forth.
So, yeah.
So conceptually, this has been designed as a constructivist program. But many things depend on how we develop MOOCs and what is going to be the overall structure of MOOCs. At this stage, only MOOCs is the feeder point for all the Swayamprabha programs. Later on, however, when we start developing independent programs, we'll be in a better position to incorporate all of these ideas. So these are some of the questions, conceptual questions, which need to be clarified. At this stage, a general framework has been given. The idea has been floated that this will be a credit earning entire scheme, and students will be given due credits for it. But will MOOCs be able to contribute significantly to a constructivist pedagogical design? That is a question that needs to be addressed at a different platform.
Create constructivist MOOCs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's
Otherwise, there is I quite agree with you, sir. There is a possibility that we will fall back into the same old behavioristic pedagogical mechanism, and this will only be another replication of the institutionalized learning system. But we will take, I mean, this is a question that will be answered a little later.
I have to only compliment what our friends from IGNOU have said. Regarding the MOOCs and the DTA channels, one request to both of you is that circulate the process which state open universities they have to go for it. And secondly, IGNOU, if possible, may provide us some training, because it's quite possible that at our place we may not have the trained person. People are there, but suiting to that particular requirement, if we make a request, then please send the concerned people also, so that we may get that sort of representation in that whole exercise. And through that, you can also have a feeling that this message had spread to all the open universities of the country. And that message is very, very important, because we can see the representation of various languages, various areas, and the expertise which may be available all over the country, that also you can understand. The second thing is, I must compliment the Government of India also, which is coming up in a big way with respect to the digital and this MOOCs, etc., and also the skill development. And all these open universities, they can play a strategic role in all these areas. And these open universities, they must be provided an opportunity to strengthen this particular area. For that, I must compliment my Vice Chancellor IGNOU, who has put the case of all the open universities in such a way that at least no other word is required to supplement that. And I am especially and personally thankful to him, because initially in the morning itself I made a request to him, forget about that startup, if you can build up our case. Your words are very, very important to all of us, and if you speak from the dais, people will listen to you. So, and that he has put it in such a way so that we all will now feel that we have got a place of pride. The one word which we want only, that we have to be treated as a university. Even the private university, even the deemed university, they do have a power to run their courses, provided they follow the nomenclature of the UGC. If they have to start a new course, then also they can go for it. But we are not being permitted to do that. So that sort of sorry state of affairs, and that also he has submitted it so politely to the policymakers and planners, to the MHRD and others. So I think the language part I cannot compare with him, the way he has expressed. We want only, what we want? We want to run the courses. We want to contribute to the skill development process of the Government of India. We want to run the new courses according to the requirements of the society. As an university, we are empowered to do that. Our acts and statutes, they permit us. We also want that PhDs and the MPhils, as per the regulations which are provided in 2009, we are going to do that. Only these things we require, and these are being given, these are being permitted to all the universities, deemed universities, private universities. We are the government universities, state universities, and the central universities. At least that sort of our request, it may be considered by MHRD people and the UGC. Thank you. Sir.
I said, don't forget the dual mode, because always it's state open university. We are a part of university and still we face the same crisis. We are always being distanced. So I hope the open learning system really poses challenges for everyone to get.
For us, this entire system is one family. And we do not distinguish between one member from the other. Therefore, all the state open universities are a part of this very large family. This is what we were trained into when we entered this system. So this information was available with us, but we thought before this information will reach you, we will be able to reach you. Because it came to us only a day before we started for this place. So we thought we will use this platform, but information sharing will be seamless, quick, and will be on the terms of complete equality. This is, I want to reiterate this. It will be on terms of complete equality. Whatever assistance is needed, whatever expertise we have, that expertise equally belongs to you. And whatever facilities are available with the state open universities, they are national facilities. We are all grateful to the government for providing this very wonderful and exciting opportunity to all of us to access our learners and also make those very wonderful, exciting experiments which Professor Takpale so succinctly put in the morning session. Because we are the only one who have the possibility of making those experiments. Conventional universities do not have this facility. So we are grateful, but we will share all the information and we will very quickly create some kind of a mechanism. At this stage, I am in no position to give you the exact details, but all of you will be partners in that, equal partners in that mechanism, and we will collectively make this SOU channel. In fact, it is not confined only to SOU. All the 5 channels which are available with IGNOU, teacher education, liberal arts and humanities, culture, agriculture and allied sciences, YCMOU will be a major contributor to the agriculture. Then there may be Tamil Nadu Open University and others will be in the allied sciences. So we invite you to participate with us in all the 5 channels equally. Information will be made available to you quickly, and whatever assistance is needed, we'll provide that.
Sir, I have just an observation and query in my mind. The idea is fantastic, and we are ready to be a part of it, provided there is no UGC policy level involved in the process. Because I still have the traumatic sort of experience during the course of my presentation. Because, sir, in the entire Northeast, my university and the Guwahati University, these 2 universities signed MOUs with the NSDCs. And this was communicated to the University Grants Commission in time. When we made the presentation, it was emphatically known to us that this is not the mandate of the Open University to sign an MOU with the NSDC. And this is exclusively the purview of the conventional university. So when it was that were intimated to us during the course of the presentation. We have already informed the NSDC, because we work under UGC, we are not working under the NSDC, that it is no longer possible to keep our commitment regarding our signing of the MOU regarding skill development. The process was already advanced. We selected study centers, they provided their trainers, everything was in an advanced stage. So only thing I hope that we are also impressed by this program. We are ready to cooperate at all levels. Only thing, because we are very small organization, sir. So I appeal to the huge organizations like the IGNO and the other people involved to see to it that we do not have to face humiliation when we try to implement such policies. When our own ship is sinking, how can we promote some people's flagships? We have to think about that. That is my observation.
Sir, a quick comment. We have inherited a culture where conflict is not the essence of our existence. We want to live in harmony with UGC. And when I say that with the bottom of my heart, we want to live in harmony with UGC. And there may be some occasions. In a family, it generally happens. Not everybody is on the same platform. But this is a festive occasion. For us, DTH and the fact that it is getting operational is a festive occasion. Let all of us collectively celebrate. Your size is not important to us. You are an equal partner in all our ventures. I can assure from this platform and on behalf of all others who are present here.
I think tomorrow's meeting, which Vice Chancellor and Uma will be attending, your issues, Mr. Chaudhary, will be taken care. It is being coordinated by Ministry of HRD. Additional Secretary Mr. Subramaniam Tell is coordinating. There should not be any regulatory blocks for your participation. So that should be the underline.
That's how we also understood in case of the NSDC, because it was directly supervised from that of the Prime Minister's office. So we had that sort of understanding, sir. But even at that point of time, we communicated the whole thing to our regulatory body. That happened.
So you are small, you are wounded, we are very big, we are also wounded. I am not showing my wounds to everybody.
That means.
Sir, good morning to Nundal. Thanks to the organizers for providing such a wonderful platform to share our feelings. I hope we are all the top level leaders and educationists leading an open university. With the open university, whatever the things we are discussing, I'm sure we are also openly accepted without any hesitations in the public interest. We are talking so many things. Just I wanted to indicate a real facts what was happened in Tamil Nadu. For example, this May 2016, the plus 2 examination was declared. There were 8.99 lakhs appeared, out of which 7.91 lakh students passed. Out of the 7.19 lakh students, 4.99 lakh students scored more than 60% of the marks. The remaining 2.61 lakh students, though they passed, they scored between 70% to 120 marks. They are in the bottom line. If you look at the humiliation of those type of students, the press and media, including the parents, including the teachers, who appreciated the students who was the cream, then they have forgotten about the 20-30% of the student. Are they really unskilled? Are they really incapable? Because nevertheless, we know that we are educationists, the marks is the only yardstick. But however, who is going to take care of these 2 lakh students? That's what we are, our role is there. That's what written to all our collegiate education. Even you take the Loyola College, where next to the Sriram and then Christ from the Bangalore, we are the Loyola 3rd and 2nd and 3rd place. Out of the 140, just 140 become student admission number strength, there were around more than 12,000 applications were received. This is the state. We approached those type of people and collected the details. But problem here is, when we talk about the open, people think, oh, it's a degree offered to open. They think it's inferior. This is the situation prevailing, but I hope with the intervention, with the interface meeting like this, definitely something, some confidence. Even if you tell our family, shall we admit our student in BCom, how many of us are ready to admit your student in the MBA, logistics and whatever the course we are offering in our own system of education. So irrespective of the mode of education, whatever we do in a quality mode. Only thing we are discussing about the various regulatory mechanisms. The regulatory mechanism should be a quality assurance part, not putting a right. For example, you take even, see, we are a democratic system where the people are spread across the globe. If someone wanted to learn Tamil, someone wanted to learn Oriya in their own languages, whether it be housewives, whoever they have to do. That is the system open. If you put rider, cross boundary, you should not go beyond this. Absolutely. I don't think so. This is intervening in the freedom of an individual. So education is common. Anybody can learn whatever, it's my preferences. How come you can put a rider, you should not cross boundary? Even last week, I met an educationist from Sri Lanka. He said there are Sri Lanka 30% of the Tamilians wanted to learn the Tamil languages. How can I move with them? Because there is a rider. So these are all the crux of the issues we have to understand in the interest of the public, not on the, because we are all dealing with the open systems. That's my feeling. And another important thing, we have excellent video studio. If anybody who has visited might be knowing that we're ready to support whatever the case for the IGNOU or whatever for the UGC or whatever I said is not that criticizing someone thing, but we are being focused. See, we are all in education mode. Whatever the mode, either the conventional mode or the open mode. So in that angle, we have to think it over. Please take care of all these issues because we are all coming. Even 3rd March, I attended IGNOU meeting, 4th March. We are coming and discussing at the wrap up. We are going. At the end, what is happening? Nothing. Even we have, see, every state we have just as a uniformity. Every state we have in 107, 10 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 1 GO. Because of GO, our program is collapsing. Otherwise, you close the open university system. Why do you keep on keeping all these things? We are not running a fund. Please understand all these things. We are all open, education is open-mindedly will go in the interest of the public. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I have a brief question. See, we have developed some courses on Moodle platform. Whether it will be possible to convert into your DTH? We have converted entire course and we have recorded on Moodle platform.
Moodle video content.
Actually, they have some
Technical
standards. If they are those standards are followed, it can be taken forward. So it's not just the this Swayam Prabha. It could be on the Swayam also as a MOOCs course also.
See, for DTH, let me.
No, but they have that.
Not HTML5. They of course they are trying to even out the uneven contradictory things. I think as the meetings progress, they will sort it out. But at the moment, they expect HD, high definition recording, and it will be encoded in MPEG 2, not MPEG 4. Because our VC has attended the operations management group, the highest body of these DTH channels, where the chairman managing director of ECIL, Gandhinagar IIT director, and ISRO associate director, they are the highest body. For whatever reason, they have decided to go for MPEG 2 compression, and the recording should be in HD. So these are the constraints, sir. We will have to look at this.
So the standards are given in this.
In the document.
You can have
We'll
a
hand
look
over
if it is.
the papers to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I have one small query.
Please.
In this Swayam platform, so how the issue of the jurisdiction will be taken care of?
There is no jurisdiction in this.
But at present, we have to follow the jurisdiction.
Acha, in terms of access,
Yeah.
let me tell you in terms of access,
I
I
think the
didn't.
term used by Professor Takwale, that deinstitutionalization, that is happening in Swayam. I think we take it in that spirit only.
In terms of learner access, which I think we somehow missed, we were all worried, even when N.K. Sinha Saab was there as additional secretary. These 50 channels, 1,000 channels, we were thinking of what will be the plight of the viewer. I mean, what kind of set-top box will come that which will catch all the 1,000 channels. So we thought he was talking off the head. But in this case, BISEC meeting has clearly taken a good decision. On GSAT 15 satellite, which ISRO has put in the orbit in November, last November, Doordarshan's DTH bouquet, free dish, is also using the same satellite. So the same set-top box which you can use for receiving free dish, it is called free dish, that will also receive this 32 channels. So in terms of access, there should not be an issue.
You talked about jurisdiction. The question was on jurisdiction.
What you can call it, a systemic problem. Problem is like this, that I want to teach somebody who is beyond the jurisdiction. And it doesn't matter. I mean, just the world is the whole jurisdiction for anybody now. So if that is the case, what is the focus of our education? I mean, that is the point I'm bringing again. If my focus is my development situated in a locality, in an institution, with the people, with the nature around it, I don't go for the global, I go for global knowledge, but local development. And I have to be a part of that local development, otherwise I will not contribute to the development of a learner. So myself and my students will be working together in a locality. So global local is the model. And wherever you are participating in the development is your model or locality. And anybody who is following your path could be another locality, might be anywhere in the world. And we are exchanging our ideas and practices, might be cultural differences, and learning from each other. Now that is a different matter altogether. Question of jurisdiction doesn't come in. But in a local development, learn globally, apply locally. I mean, with that rather just, you will lose the concept.
Yes, sir. Ideally, your speaking is true, but we need to take approval from UGC, program-wise approval. So in that case, there might be an issue. So that's why I raised the issue that you should consider during your meeting.
Yeah, but that is taken care of, that jurisdiction thing is taken care of, but it's only limiting in India. You cannot go beyond, because SWAYAM will be available only through IP addresses in India. So anyone from outside cannot access, and also the proctored examination centers will be in India only. So that's why at the moment we are not addressing the world, we are addressing only the Indian community.
So
Similarly,
your issue is once assessment certification happens for MOOCs or for DTA channels, will it be running into trouble with UGC regulation that within the state? That's the problem.
yeah. Similar issue might come in content development. How you will address the issue of duplication of the content development by all the state open universities?
Good enough mechanism to take care of all these nitty-gritties. I mean, we did not deliberately get into all those details, but the time is short and we were trying to present you the concept of this Swayamprabha. But all these details will be made available to all the state open universities freely. And whenever you have any problem or question, we'll create a platform, you can access that platform and we'll provide you all the answers. Should we conclude the session?
Yeah.
So I am really grateful and express gratitude on behalf of IGNOU to the organizers and to all the participants here, all the State Open University Vice Chancellors, for giving us this opportunity of presenting the case for not raising the bar in the pole vault beyond 5 feet. My request is that we will cross 5 feet, but please don't make it 5.5. And I have every reason to believe that the representatives from the ministry and from UGC have taken to our words very kindly, and they will carry these words there. And at least I am very hopeful that we will hear good news soon, not later. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks everyone, and I thanks all the speakers on the dais. I also specially thanks to Professor Ravindra Kumarji for deliberating and coordinating this discussion session. I now request everyone for lunch, and our second session will begin at 2 o'clock. Thank you.